All right. I gonna make a little video here about my bass guitar, my electric bass guitar that I have wanted for a long time. Just recently got it. Well, not recently, but just got it not too long ago. This is the Philip Kubicki X Factor 4-string extender system. Interesting thing about this is it's got the fretboard, if you can see, has this little lever on it. So this brown thing looking right there, that's the nut. So any average 4-string bass would have these 4 strings come down here and land on that nut. And that's what gives you the first fret. But as you can see, there's no tuning keys on the end of this thing. It's kind of interesting. So if you look real close, these are actually the strings that go in there. There's 4 of them in there, but this one's way down there. And it's actually the same fretboard. That's that brown piece of wood in there. It's laid on top of the maple neck. And it runs the full length of this. Now, a lot of bass players do what's called a drop D or a drop tuning. And they usually have to tune it down with their tuners. But this guy made this bass, Philip, and it's his own design. It's the only one like it. But when you flip this little lever and you release the bass, now there's your first fret. And see, there's that brown piece there. That's the same as the nut that's over here. But it extended and added 2 more frets to the low string. So now it's a drop tuning. And to put it back, you move that lever again, and now it frets itself right there. I know it's probably confusing. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to people other than bass players, but this thing's wicked awesome. Now, the problem is, so just while we're on the subject, that is where the strings are tuned. Right here, these knobs, you turn them like that, and that's like a fine tuner. Turns these wheels in here, and basically you put the strings on backwards. The ball end goes in there, and the tuner's back here. Look at this thing. Wicked awesome. I don't know if you can see, but it's got a date on the back of it. This thing was made, what was it? May 1989. And it is in immaculate condition. This is called Bahama Green, I believe. So basically what I'm going to do is show you how to change the strings on this thing. It's really nuts. And it took me quite a while to figure it out. But what I'm going to do is put my Ernie Ball Slinkies on. And we'll see. So basically, I'll do it real quick here. So I have to remove the string. Now the interesting is, you screw these fine tuners all the way out. This gives you the range for these tuners to turn these gears in there. If you look real close down inside there, these are wheels. And this silver thing here, as I tune them all the way out, you'll see the silver piece kind of rises up out of those wheels. And what that does is it allows me to put them back on the wheel, and then when I tune them up, it's tuned correctly with enough range. The thing here is, I'm just going to change one string because I put short scale strings on here, and because it's a medium scale bass, which is weird. What that really means is it refers to the spacing on the frets and stuff, and how many frets you have between the nut and the bridge. That's the bridge there. Each string gets its own little bridge. So I got short scale strings, but the top string, since it's actually longer on the end, didn't quite fit because the taper of the string itself ended up out here. Probably can't see it, but it has completely ruined the tone of the bass. So what I did is I went out and got some new strings, and I'm going to put a new E string on there so that it reacts like a regular bass guitar. So the first thing that we do, again, tune all these tuners out, give us the full range we need. Now, I take that lever I was pointing out, I push it down. Actually, I take the string off the saddle like that. So you see there, it's off of this saddle right here. And as I push that lever in, it releases the string. And so it makes sense. This is where it comes out. Again, there's the ball end of the string. Goes in this little ferrule or cup. That one right there. So the other three strings are already in their ferrules. And this thing was like, handmade. Just a beautiful, beautiful instrument. These cups are actually brass. And it just keeps for the tone to still a little bit bright. They resonate through brass. Gives you a little bit more. Now, the trick here is I'm going to take my new strings. We'll start with the E string. I think I've already said that. And there will be a quiz, by the way, so y'all best pay attention here. And love these strings. Ernie Ball. Kind of lightweight. Actually, extra slinky, as they say. Not like... I'm going to skip around here for just a second and show you. This is the Shecky bass. This is a bass that I made years and years ago. And the thing with this bass is it's in a drop C tuning. That's a real heavy string. Kind of the opposite of what we're doing here. Anyway. What I do is I take the old string out. And now I've had people tell me, well, if you want to put strings on your Kubicki Factor, you need extra long strings, and then you cut them to fit. So here's the string. Look how long it is. There's the end of it right there. And it's quite a bit longer than the bass. Oh, see, that's what I did. I put the ball in down here. That's how it would work with a bass that has the tuning keys or machines up here. So just like any other guitar, bass guitar, or guitar, or, whatever, the tuning machines are down here, and there's that bridge right here. This one actually has ferrules that the strings go through the body. They pop out through the bridge, and they go all the way down to the tuning machines. That's normal. This bass is not normal. So what I'm going to do, that's the old string. What I'm going to do is scour around the planet for the string that I just lost. Yeah, that's kind of funky. Where'd it go? Is that it? There it is. Okay. There it is. So I'm going to take this string and I'm going to put it in that ferrule all the way down there. Then I'm going to bring it back down to the bridge down here. I don't know if you can see that or not, but trust me, it's wicked cool. And I'm just going to, I don't know. Typically I measure with my hand width and cut the string on that end. I don't want it to wrap too much, but here's the taper right there. See, it doesn't even... Man, I don't know if that's going to fit in there either. Huh. Well, don't that just beat all? Anyway, we'll do it anyway. I'm going to cut the end of this off. Probably too short, but we'll see what happens. So I chop off a little end of it, and then I add a little hook to it. Just on the very end. Just a little fold. Like so. Now, back to that wheel that I released. Has a hole in it. I push that. See how that gear just spins around, round, round. So, but it's got a hole in it, and there's the hole Just slide that string down in there, and I start to turn the wheel back towards the other end of the base, the bridge. Now, I got to hold that string in there and keep it off the saddle, and I'm just using my thumb to push the string back that way. And it gets kind of difficult, so what I do, kind of give it one more click. Yeah, I can't do it, I'm not strong enough. Anyway, we'll put it back on there and tune it up. So this, again, you'll see this little release is going back down. So there's the string. Turn these back up. And see what happens, y'all. This is also how you tune it. So, round, round, round. Still pretty low, and new strings, they stretch, and the problem with them stretching is they go out of tune pretty easy. So after I put a new string on or a new set of strings, I grab these and I stretch them myself, like that. Just give them a little tug here, all the way down the neck. These strings are extremely strong and they have a lot of tension because bass players are the coolest players in the world. And they have instruments that use these strings. Like, look how strong this is. Just pulling it by the strings. Poor little guitar players can't do that without busting them. Anyway, okay, so that silver release tab is pretty much all the way down in there. So that's the limit. Now, sounds like I'm still a little flat. So what I got to do is take it back off that saddle and then try to push this wheel back. One more click. Give me one more. Actually, I'll release it. This will help keep some of the tension off of it. All right, so now it's all the way back out again. There we go. You got that one more click because I stretched the string out. There's the taper right there on the bridge, man. So it's like just gonna fit. There we go. I got one more click out of it. That should be enough because it's stretched. And I get it back up on the saddle. Easier said than done. All right, there it is. And see, it's tuned out, but it's not buzzing. My release bar is all the way back up again. And watch as I tune it. That release bar moves down into the gear. So now I have plenty of range. These are the fine tuners. So there we go. That's what I'm talking about. So all I would need to do is go through and do that to every one of the strings. And then we can play music and get down. Hope this helps people understand a little bit about this weird bass from 1989. It's a dream come true for me to own it, especially one in this nice condition and with this color. I love that color. We just put the strings on here and I plugged it in and tuned it up to a standard 440A, and we're gonna run it through the system here, the studio, and see if we can't make some noise. Open up one of my this isn't Pro Tools, this is Studio One Pro 7. So I have quite a few sessions going on in here right now, but most of them I create with, of course, the bass channel, just in case we want to get funky. And here we go. Now, let's see, where is my bass? We're going to see if we can hear that. I'm going to turn it on, unmute my pedal board. Alright, there's it showing up on my Scarlett interface. This is, we'll kind of pan over here a little bit. There's my my new interface there. It's called a Focusrite Scarlett 18i20, which means 18 inputs and 20 outputs. I know that seems kind of weird, but it is kind of weird. So there we go. We got some signal here. I'm going to unmute my mains. I don't see my bass. Let's set this thing up. Where are you at? Okay, how about we just do this? There it is. Let's get that. It's kind of going through an amp or something. I got lots of plugins on here. So, looks like the drive is down a little bit. Why is that? It's the preamp on it. Let's see, that's an input 1. Is that where I'm going? Let's try input 2. How about that? Input 2. That's right. Okay. Just a little quiet. I'll come in here and turn that up a little bit. There we go. Lots of killer tones on this thing. There's still something up with it. It's a little bit heavier on the A strings here. You can kind of see there's the A and the D, A and the D and the G. But the E that I just replaced, it's a little soft. Trying to figure out why. So I see why. I was showing y'all about this thing. Look, the tuner isn't flat. I mean, the lever is off of that nut and it's going all the way to this nut. So it's in a drop tuning. So I'll put that back, put that lever back on there now. See how it's tuned up a little bit. It's too much. So let's drop it back down to E. A, B, C, D. What comes after D? E, F. There we go. Now we're cooking with diesel. So this is still kind of rough, but so that's an E tuning. See that low D? Goes back up to E. New strings on a bass. It's like Christmas morning, man. Anyway, enough of my jibber jabber. And while I'm at it, I figure I'll just I'm gonna grab this camera and show you a little bit about the studio. Look at that. This is what I dig. Been working on this for quite a while. It's a kind of a mixture of analog, digital, computering, and stuff like that. Got the piano over here, and there's a few basses back here, a couple guitars. Oh yeah, I gotta check this thing out, man. I got a guitar set up here in Open C. What's another one? Look at this. Warlock. Nothing screams metal more than the old Warlock. Yeah, dig that. Still kind of a piece of junk, but looks really cool. So, anyway, have fun.